I'm gonna hit record and let the hard drive come. All right, I'm gonna do a quick little countdown in three, two, one. Hello, the internet. Matthew here for another great episode of Something 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 Creative. I have with me today the one, the only, the Long Island original ShadowRabbit Clay Guy. Thank you so much, my man, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Happy to be. Glad we finally got to hang out again.
Dude, it's been way too. I think the last time we saw each other in person was at Tropicon, and then we were supposed to have a. Actually, it was funny enough. We were supposed to do an interview for one of my older series, and then the world decided to have a pandemic, so that didn't happen.
Yeah, the
But
asteroids came down. It was weird.
yeah, but you know what? You have been relentless. You have been. I've been seeing you on social media all over, constantly posting videos, showing people your amazing artwork, getting out there, doing commissions, delivering to people, bringing a lot of joy. And I think that's hugely admirable. Especially in times like these, you definitely bring a big bright spot, I think, to a lot of people, and you should get credit for that.
Well, thank you, man. Yeah, no, no mercy. You gotta keep rolling. I mean, world keeps spinning. You don't want to get moss growing on you.
All right, unless something better is said, "No Mercy" is going to be the title of this interview. So, anyhow,
I've been watching a lot of Cobra Kai. Also, love
okay,
it.
yes, yes, this man has got the heart of a champion here. So, for those watching, if you look behind him, you will see what we're talking about. These are all handmade ShadowRabbit Clay Guy original pieces right here. It's just that's Five Nights at Freddy's.
Um, that's what people said it looks like. I haven't played that. This was just
So this is
my
like an original original. This is all you.
yeah, this is just my teddy bears for the apocalypse. I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking along those lines.
No, you were definitely not the only one thinking along those lines. You were probably the only one making his avatars from his psyche manifest into clay. Of course, we see Harley Quinn back there. We see Deadpool. Looks like Punisher. I can't see. You got Superman up there. You got a whole mess,
So
man. Oh my god, dude! Look at that, dude.
yeah, this is my playroom. It's covered in toys.
And you know what? So anyone could go out to a GameStop or something and go pick up a bunch of toys for their own display. People can hit up Amazon or whatever. You make your own stuff. How did you get started? Let's start at the beginning. How did this start?
I mean, it started when I was a little kid. I mean, playing with Play-Doh until the pre-K person took it away. Crying because I wasn't done making a dinosaur. Um, yeah, we didn't have Legos and the spinny things for ADD or whatever when we were little kids. So my parents would get me clay,
And
and
so
I
it was a matter of like it was there for you to use. Like not
it was
everybody. I mean, everybody plays with clay as a kid. What got you making just deciding I'm going to make my own toys out of this stuff? Like when did that really start?
I mean, everyone's got little GI Joes or whatever you play with, but the clay was so versatile. You could do whatever you wanted. If I wanted to play with army guys one day, I could make them dinosaurs, monsters, whatever. It just kept growing, and I realized I'd make the same guys smaller and smaller, and then have more people to fight. So sooner or later, I was making them. I can't even make them as small as I used to. They were like
Oh,
microscopic.
big fat fingers now. So not only are you self-reliant, you're resourceful. And this was all when you were like a little kid. Like this is how you saw the world. This is how you saw the things you were doing with that.
Yeah, man. I remember when I was really little, my dad used to have his microscopes. We'd look through it, little petri dishes, and say, "Oh, there's all worlds so small you can't even see them." And I thought, man, I bet I can see them. I'll make them. So
Holy shit!
and I kept making smaller and smaller things. And I love sci-fi, and fantasy, everything.
Mhm.
So if I wanted to make the whole Lord of the Rings, Mount Doom and orcs and people battling up it, I'd just do that.
your parents must have saved so much money around holiday time because it's like, well, why buy him toys? Just screw it, get him a big box of clay and let him make it himself. Like, let me ask you, did you end up buying like your own figures and toys and stuff also, and like kind of supplement, or was it like all clay all the time?
I mean, I was Ninja Turtles, whatever else was popular at the time too. But yeah, I mean, I always came back to the clay, and my parents didn't like it that I was just destroying whatever plastic toys I eventually got, covering them in clay and wax and whatever I was playing with. Looking back, maybe I can understand. I got kids of
Well,
my own now. I'm like, yeah, don't mess up your. I want to smash it into a rock, though. Yeah, pretty crazy.
dude, no, seriously, this is a great window into like the creative mind, and I really hope I want to take a moment to get really serious, and I hope parents out there are listening to exactly what he's saying. Is that your kids kind of see things a little differently than you. They're going to have their own motivations, and I would you say that your parents kind of gave you enough room to like really explore this side of your creativity?
Oh yeah, they supported it as much as they could. I mean, I can understand how they would get tired of me covering every surface in the house with clay and ruining any carpet. Or I used to keep balls of clay in my pocket, like wherever I'd go. I'd just have a little ball of clay, and I'd make stuff as I was sitting there, in school or anywhere. So a couple times through the washing machine, if they didn't, empty out a pocket, I'm certain my mom
Oh,
never forgave me for that. But
oh, that is okay. Yeah, as a parent, just sounds like a nightmare waiting to happen.
understandably so. But
It's all for the kids. So, all right. So now to transition to the business you have, the brand you have, ShadowRabbit Clay Guy. How far back did that start? That you actually made them and sold them? Was it kind of organic? Like you just friends asked you, or did you just say, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a business? Like, how did that happen?
well, I mean, I've been making these as long as I can remember, like the little guys, and here and there I'd try to sell cake toppers or bigger figures, things kind of like these guys back here.
Yeah.
And once in a while I'd sell one, but I wasn't, it wasn't enough to maintain a living.
Right.
So about 3 years ago, I was at my desk at work, and I'd finally had enough of working at desk, and just things in my life were finally starting to line up. And my brother knew a guy who was putting on a comic book show, the Long Island Comic Expo,
Okay.
and he showed him a couple of my sculptures on his cell phone, guys. And the guy Greg.
Yeah. Oh, I lost your audio for a second. I lost your audio. Your audio went out. Yeah. Oh, okay. We good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. The audio went out, and no, I'm not editing that out. So all right, so you met Greg, great guy, love Greg.
Yeah, man. So he invited me to do the show, and I really had no idea what to expect. I'd gone to Comic Cons for since I was old enough to buy a ticket to go to Comic Con
Right,
and stuff like that here and there.
right.
But I'd never worked at a Comic Con before, so I didn't really know what to expect. But
Mm,
I got in, rolled up early, set up my booth, and I didn't really know what I was going to bring, so I brought everything. So I had 200 pounds of clay with me, everything like that. But it was great. Everyone I met that day was super super welcoming, very helpful, and it was just a group of people who wanted to talk about Batman and you know karate, and it was great, man.
and that's the great thing with the cons is that there's that sense of camaraderie, and it's like I actually think that's where we met, right?
Yeah, of
Or
course.
was that one? I don't know if it wasn't that like Comic Expo. I think it wasn't Tropica. That was the
I'll
next
work,
one.
I work all the all the time.
Yeah, like
I'll work everything in the Tropicon,
yeah.
Creator Con, everything. They're all good.
Yeah, 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 and that's the thing. You meet some great people, and I mean, of course, there's drama, there's politics, there's all this garbage that everything else has.
Hey, man, in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, you've always, and I have to say that I always respected that about you is that like there's all that shit going on for lack of a better term, and then there's you just making stuff. Yeah, just making
'Cause,
stuff, man. Just going at it.
I was working. I was working in the real world, and that's where people actually want to stab you in the back. So I mean, this is so much more fun. I'm not going to ruin it.
No, no, and you
It's
have
it's all good, man.
yeah, you have a great attitude about it, and I think a lot of people really need to see that, to understand that, and to kind of emulate that. I'm not gonna lie, like we need a little bit more of that. You really bring a bright spot to like this whole community, and I really appreciate that. So,
Oh,
all right.
me blue.
Oh yeah, well, you see, the lighting ain't that great. I want to see the blushing. Okay, there it goes. All right, so let me talk a little technical about some of the stuff back there. Like I've seen on your Instagram, which by the way, everybody has to make sure you're following him on Instagram and everything else, and website and all that stuff's going to be on the bottom. And I've seen some of the videos. Like you'll put up progress videos and show, okay, this is Pickle Rick, just the wire skeleton. This is Pickle Rick with just the pickle part, and then the face, and then the arms. Like, how long does it actually take to make, like, let's say a 4-inch figure?
I mean, honestly, I work super quick. That's why it's not the best metric for me to go by. Like, oh man, I was sitting there, mixing the clay since dawn. I can make it sound more complicated and more time sensitive than it is. But
Right.
I work quick and I work super passionately, and I just go, I go into a trance, man, when I'm working, and I can get a lot done very quickly. I mean, a couple hours to do something, but
Yeah.
it's no BS. Like, when I'm working, I work to get something done.
Right.
I take any task like a mercenary. You get paid to get it done, not how long it takes. Do your work and then go sit in the sun.
No, I like that, and I like how you say. And see, this is part of the reason I do this series, is that a lot of people who do creative works like yourself, they get out there, they put their work out there. It's art, it's it's performance, it's whatever. But
And it is.
it is, and to understand exactly what you just said, that you put your passion into it. You go into a trance and you get in there and you do it because you love it. And no mercy, get the thing done. I love that, man. I love that attitude, and I think that's something a lot more people would emulate if they knew that they could. So how long were you doing the slog? You said it was a few years ago. Wait, oh, I'm sorry. So it was about 3 years ago. You finally just decided to walk out and just start your own business.
Well, I went to a couple of these to see if there was any sort of yield in it, but yeah, after I was doing shows for maybe 6 months or so, I realized I could actually make money doing this, and I was getting commissions in a way I've never gotten before, like
Mhm.
ones that weren't just my grandma doing me a favor or something, or a friend doing something. I mean, I was starting to get people who I have no idea who this person is. They saw me online and they live across the country and they want to order something of significance. And I was kind of blown away that that's how it worked. So,
And see, what you just said there is brilliant, and that's for a lot of people. And I'm trying to steer the conversation towards this because a lot of people hold back with what they really want to do, especially if it's a creative venture. The motif of the starving artist is something we're all too familiar with. And you know what? Like, there are plenty of people who work the 9 to 5 slog and then make their thing in the garage and then sell it on Etsy or sell it on eBay. And I think you could really attest to the glory that is the internet, the ability, like you just said, to just ship stuff off to people, that the things that they want, the things that they have asked you for, and see and connect with. So how has that felt for you?
it's amazing. I couldn't believe it was something that really happened, you know, like, I am, trained in fine art and all that. When I got out of school, I thought like, oh man, I'm going to make an impact in the fine art world. after about 2 years of sweeping floors and stuff, I realized that ain't gonna happen right now. I better buckle down and try something that could support myself. And
Mhm.
but that being said, I had a great time doing what I was doing before this, but I'm not going back.
Yeah. And I really don't think you need to. And especially, and now let me ask you, how did COVID affect your business? Did things go up, down, stay the same?
I mean, well, after I finally was able to take the rock off of my head and look outside again, um, COVID sucked, man. I really love going to the cons
Mhm.
and hanging out with people. And I think my thing, like when I'm doing it in person, I can really sell it,
Mhm.
especially like the miniatures. Like when I'm sitting there just
Oh
sculpting a
my
little.
God, little T'Challa. Oh my God.
Um,
Dude, that looks so cool.
oh, thanks, bro. That's what all of this stuff behind me is. My miniature.
Big pen. Is that Kingpin?
Of course.
Dude, that's so badass. Look at the detail on that. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
man. You know, it's little. I mean,
Yeah, but it's little, but I mean, it's like you did this past the screen, like it went like that, and I'm just like, oh, it's Kingpin. Like
yeah.
it,
Thank you. And that's what I love to do is make little things out of clay. Stuff you could fit in your
right,
pocket
yeah.
at school, and
Now,
in person, someone's just calling out a superhero or themselves or whatever, or a sports character or something completely crazy. I got like kids coming, make me Mr. Button Wiggle or whatever. I'm like, all right, well, can you describe them to me? It's like a snake monster with furry ears. I love that shit, man. That's what I love. That's what I do with my kids all day.
so all right, so you obviously if you have reference material, you can work off of it. Like, was it usually like two, three pictures, front, back, side, and it's like, okay, good, I got his mugshot, I can make this thing.
Yeah, I mean, the more reference you've got, the more I can try to make it look like a reference.
Right.
But my favorite is if someone just tells me kind of a general idea and says, "Roll with it," and I'll black out and wake up in a couple hours and see what we got.
Covered in clay, and there's this thing on his desk.
It's just a nightmare. Yeah, no, that's kind of how it is, man. That's what my wife used to say was like she'd go to bed and wake up in the morning and there'd be like someone sitting there on the table. She's like, "Where did that come from?"
Do they ever feel like they come alive on you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure if I talked to the right doctor, they'd be able to prescribe something. But no, man. I mean, I love it. I'm just helping it come out of the clay. The clay. I remember when I was little, I heard a story about like this great sculptor who in India who would shape the rock. And he was like the greatest sculptor of elephants in the world. It was about his protege, and he could never get the elephant right. And then one day he's looking at it, and he realizes it's not an elephant, it's a tiger that he had to help release from the stone. Became the greatest tiger sculptor. I don't know. I kind of like that.
Dude, that's that. I mean, exactly what we just said before about how people kind of lock themselves in, say, "Oh, I love to paint, but I can never make money doing that." Um, and that
Huh.
kind of really just
If you're doing something you love, man, then you can still look at yourself in the mirror. And if people want to pay you for it, oh my god.
yeah. So,
You
what
know?
advice would you give to somebody who's on that fence? Like, I want it, but I can't. I want it, but I can't. What would you say to kind of push them over?
And the hell with it. Go for it. Worst case you do is you fail, but you fail with your head held high.
All right, that's a good one too. Fail with your head held high.
I mean,
Listen,
you can live your life not doing something that you think you'd be happy with, and then you'll die one day, or you can give it a try. Why not? I mean, the worst. What are you afraid of? If you're being honest with who you are, you gotta be honest with yourself first, and the rest of the world probably already sees you a certain way. Well, who cares? You know, it's like when everyone's looking in the mirror before summer, like, oh man, I gotta look good. Brother, you've looked that way the whole year. Don't worry about it. Go out there and get some sun, man.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you wanna join this club, man, I haven't met anybody in this, at least in the comic book, in the Comic Con world. I've met anybody that I didn't like. You know, like
That's saying something. That's saying
yeah,
something. That's a penchant for individuality that you certainly wear with pride. And I really, really highly recommend everybody go check out. What's the website? What am I putting down right here?
is ShadowRabbitArt.com.
ShadowRabbitArt.com. And of course, Instagram is ShadowRabbit Clay Guy. It's underscores in between Clay.
Clay, yeah,
ShadowRabbit. ShadowRabbit's one word, underscore Clay, underscore Guy.
yeah. I think I made Shadow Rabbit art like whenever decade ago, and then forgot the password for it, so it wouldn't let me have it anymore.
But you know what? It actually kind of feels more authentic to you. It actually feels more authentic. It's like, well, who's that? Well, that's the ShadowRabbit Clay Guy.
You know, I've never been one for names and titles and all that. So as long as no one's throwing any epithets after it, I don't care. It's all good.
Well, at least not publicly. Privately, it's their own business.
Hey, what you do in your home's your business. I don't mind. No, I don't care. But yeah, so hit me up on Instagram all the time. I mean, I'm surprised because I didn't do social media too much, and then once I got on it, it's fine. It's great.
Yeah.
You know, throw up a picture of what you're working on, and people say nice stuff, or sometimes not as nice stuff, but it's all good.
And you found that's really been helpful. And that's another thing, a lot of people, they get fairly, I find they get fairly reticent about doing social media because they've had their own bad experience on Facebook or Twitter, or they just don't understand it. Obviously, from what I hear, from what you're saying, is it's worth putting in a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, like anything, you get nothing if you put nothing into it. So it's if you put the effort in to go on it, and you're trying to get your work out there. I mean, if you've got something interesting, maybe you get a few views. I mean, it's been great for me.
Yeah. Excuse me. And I think you're doing a great work. And I really appreciate you taking your time. I want to thank you again. I want to make sure everybody understands you need to go check him out. You need to go follow him. Look at this cool stuff. The Deadpool. I mean, the beauty in that.
Yeah,
Dude.
these are one of the bigger ones. I can make this one super small, or
Oh, I bet you can. Blades and all.
yeah.
I'm loving it. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you guys follow him on Instagram. Check out the website. From Matt and the ShadowRabbit Clay Guy, I want to thank you for watching this great episode of Something Creative. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.